What's going on, guys? Welcome back for another video. We are about to head into one of my favorite times of the year as we are about to get ready for football season. Around this time of the year, a couple months before the season actually begins, orders really start to pick up for us for a lot of those NFL team colorways. So since we coincidentally had two pairs of Miami Dolphin themed shoes lined up, a Jordan 1 and an Airmax Zero, my first time painting one of these Airmax Zeros by the way, we thought it would just be a pretty cool idea to just kind of let you guys see some of our workflow when it comes to some of these team freestyle options. So the first part of my process usually begins at the drawing board, starting at the computer. So one thing that really helps me sometimes is just creating a blueprint for the work I'm about to do. Sometimes it's really cool to see how certain colors lay up against one another. So from time to time, I'll just create mock-ups on Photoshop, and then you kind of get an example and illustration of where you want to take it. See, if you want to have the shoe a little bit more teal, you need some more orange, you need some more white, whatever the situation may be. So I end up from, making up to 3 examples and then choosing my favorite one. So as soon as I saw this middle one, I saw the orange wrapped around the toe box, I knew that was going to be the way to go. It had a really cool, like almost beak feel to it. Works perfectly with this Jordan 1 silhouette. And then with the Airmax Zero that we're going to be doing, I just know I want to create a really cool gradient from white to that teal with an orange swoosh. I'm probably going to do the logo more so wrapped around the heel. But this is also how you can play with, logo placement, sizing of that, seeing how that looks up against the colors that you're going to be choosing. And then, sometimes I'll also do the same process when I'm halfway through the shoe. I'll take a, progress photo of where I'm at and then go ahead and throw some of the Photoshop work on top of that to just see where I want to take the project. So Photoshop is a super useful tool when it comes to customizing shoes. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the process on how I would go about creating that perfect color match for a logo. So what I do typically is pull it up on either a phone, tablet, computer, have the logo blown up as big as you can, and then try to find the color that you believe is a really good place to start. So obviously with this Dolphins teal, I know that I want to start with Angela's turquoise. It's pretty close. It's actually a little dark and a little more of a saturated kind of greenish. So we're definitely gonna drown that out with a little bit of Angela's mist, which is a really, really, really light gray, pretty close to white, and that'll just kind of drown out the color a little bit. So let's see what we have when we mix just a little bit of turquoise and some of that mist. From there, I'll then decide if I need to add a little bit of blue or a little bit of green, or perhaps a little bit of Angela's South Beach. So let's see where we end up in a second. Definitely gonna keep going with that with a little bit more of the mist. And then I can also tell I'm gonna want to shade just a couple drops of this blue in there. Getting close. We're still gonna keep going with more mist. I'm gonna add a couple drops of green now too. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that color. I'm going to do a few more drops of blue into there. Pretty happy with that, but there's one more final thing that I'm going to do. I can tell sometimes it's a really random color that you wouldn't expect that really just ties the mixture in together to get you that perfect shade. I'm going to add a couple drops of purple into there. Alright, I'm super happy with that mixture. So obviously that purple was the one color that kind of stood out as the one that didn't really match with the rest. And sometimes it's those colors that really just help with your mixture. So I eyeball everything. This ratio ended up being something probably in the, I'm going to say like 70% was Angela's turquoise, 15 or so % was the mist, and then, roughly 5% of each of those 3 other colors, I ended up using the purple, blue, and green. So next we're gonna move right into the orange that's in the Dolphins logo. I'm gonna start probably with a half and half mixture of Angela's orange, and then either caramel or buttercup. I think I'm probably gonna go with the caramel. So let's see what we have when we mix orange and caramel. What do you guys say, caramel or caramel? I'm gonna call it caramel for today. Let's see what we got. Almost happy with that color. We're going to lighten that up with a little bit of mist and some more of the caramel. Alright, super happy with that color. So now we have our two main colors ready to go. There's one final color that will be needed for the logo later. That's also just used as kind of the underbelly of the dolphin in the logo. But all you would need for that color is just mix a little bit of some dark navy blue into your teal mixture just to get that perfect underbelly color. So now that you have your shoes all prepped up, taped up, you have your paint ready to go, it's time to go ahead and dive right into that paintwork. So what I have been doing a bit more recently is just trying to start with a really simple base coat of really whatever color I'm working with and really whatever surface I'm working on. For years when I was working on something like white leather or white mesh, I thought it was, a perfectly fine idea to just go ahead and dive right into the color. In this situation, the Dolphins teal, I would just dive right into that and do the 4 to 7 coats, whatever it tended to take to really get that nice coverage. But now what I've started to do over the last year and a half or so is just try to lay down a base coat no matter what. And this seems to take down my total coats by roughly 1 to 2, really no matter the surface and no matter the color. So what I'm doing for that is just taking our Dolphins teal and then just mixing in a half and half mixture of the Dolphins teal with either white or light gray, just something that's gonna lighten it up a bit more, and then using that as a base coat, because I know that if you mix a little bit of light gray into any of your paints, if you watched a lot of my tutorials in the past, you'll know that that makes for some great coverage. It's really gonna give you a nice base coat, and then that teal is gonna go on there super easily. Just all you'll need is 1 to 2 coats on top of your base coat and you will be good to go. After we're done with our main color, in this situation, that Dolphins teal, we're gonna move right into our secondary colors, this Dolphins orange that we already have pre-made. I thought it made for a really cool, interesting design on the Jordan 1 where the orange wraps around the toe box. It has this kind of almost beak feel to me. It kind of really stood out, and that was definitely my favorite of the mock-ups that we made earlier. So I'm super excited to see how this is gonna come out. After that's all wrapped up, we're just about ready to move into our Dolphins stencil. So all we need to do for that is decide what portions of the stencil that we want to use. Since we're already up against the teal background in both shoes, the only portions of the stencil that we really need to use are the orange ring all the way around and then that white background behind the dolphin. So after you knock out the orange and white portions of the stencil, it's really just going to be about taking your time to finish that outline around the entire logo. That's really going to help set these off and tie your whole project together. So that's basically the process of how we tackle any of our team colorways. We like to lay down our main colors first, do any of our stencil work, our secondary colors, and then finish with the logo that really helps tie the whole project together. If you guys have a favorite team that you would like to see featured in a similar style video, just be sure to let us know in the comments below, as we also have a lot more of this similar style video coming at you guys in the future, because we're kind of always doing team colorways. And if you guys are interested in getting your team done on a pair of shoes, just be sure to hit us up and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Alright, so overall we're super pleased with how this design came out. Doing the Dolphins colorway, it's definitely one of my favorite teams to do because of how well that teal and orange really complement each other. There's kind of a limitless number of options that you can do when it comes to these. Obviously we have two varying styles here where we have a pretty decent breakup of the teal to the orange to the cement print on the Jordan 1, whereas with the Airmax Zero, it has a more of a summer shoe feel, so we went with that, light gray, misty white gradient to the teal at the back to really just have that nice Miami look to both of these pairs. Alright, so that's a wrap on today's video. Go ahead and let us know in the comments below if you guys enjoyed this style of video. We really love hearing the feedback from you guys as we try to cater the page towards the style of videos that you guys enjoy most. Make sure you give this video a like, make sure you're subscribed to the page, and we will see you guys in that next video.